So it only overlaps, we're doing this problem pictorially. We had 2/3 of a cake and we're eating 1/2 of it. So how much did we eat? We ate 1, 2 out of the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. So we ate 2 out of 6. What happens when I go straight across? What's 1 times 2? 2. What's 2 times 3? 6. I get the exact same thing. Yeah, and we're going to talk about that. Except I can reduce. But mentioning this, by the way, if I'm multiplying by a number smaller than 1 times another number or fraction smaller than 1, my fraction is going to be smaller than both of them. So, and we're going to get more into that later. But you're right. Can I reduce 2 over 6? What goes into both of them?
2.
Is I'm going to divide it by 2. I'm going to divide it by 2. What's 2 divided by 2?
1.
Is 1. What's 6 divided by 2? 3. Now, I want you to, before I do this other one, I want you to look at this here. Does anybody see a 1 over a 3 in this problem?
No. Yes.
Yes. In fact, what I could have done, and this is what you're going to work on today, if I see a 2 divided by 2, what's a 2 divided by 2? It's a 1. We are going to reduce our numbers first to make our answer smaller. So 2 divided by 2. 1 has to be on top. It has to be separated by a division sign, and that fraction line is a division sign. And then that's 1. So my final answer is 1 times 1 is 1. 1 times 3 is 3. That's it. So with that, we're going to do this one, because in reality, I could do all of this by going straight across. But I'm probably going to get some big number. Like I'm going to get 30 times 10 is 300. 300 times that is going to be 3600. You don't even want to write that down. And then I'm going to get some great big number here, and then I've got to reduce it. Do you want to do that? No. So today what we're doing, multiplication fraction is easy, quick, but you have to reduce. But if you have the bigger ones, you must know how to reduce on the top and the bottom. So do you see anything on my example where it's exactly the same on the top and the bottom?
6.
The 6. The 6 divided by 6, that's 1. The 12 and 12. 12 divided by 12. So now it's a lot. It's not 3,600 anymore.
5 and 20.
Well, actually, now I have nothing that matches exactly. But does that 10 go into any number on the bottom?
No, 60.
Yeah. The 10 goes into the 60. So I could divide both of those by 10, or I'm going to show you another way today that I can take this 60 and I could make it 10 times 6. And now can I see 10 and 10? So 10 divided by 10. Well, in fact, isn't there a 5 and a 25? So I'm going to make this 5 times 5. So now can I cross off a 5 on top and a 5 on the bottom? Yes, 5 on the top and 5 on the bottom. In fact, all of these slashes that I made, and I say make sure you're paying attention, are 1s. 1 times 1 times 1 times 1 is 1. And what do I have left on the bottom?
6.
6 times 5 is
30.
30. So if I had 3,600 over some great big number, it would have reduced to this. And this is what we're trying to do today. So the nice thing about multiplication is we are done with common denominators. So let's look at, these are going to be fun. Let's look at, okay, we're not going to be silly in here. Okay, is on this one. So this is similar to this problem where I've got all of these factors and they want us to write it in the simplest form. So is there anything that you can see that makes a 1 that crosses out on top and bottom?
No. Yes.
What number is there that crosses out on top and bottom?
3.
So let's pick one at a time. So 3 and 3. So we're making it smaller. Is there another number that matches on top and bottom?
Yeah.
The 2 and the 2. And then the 5 and the 5. Okay, so now it's a lot easier. 7 and 11, neither of those go into 13. So now we can multiply straight across. What's 7 times 11?
77.
So 77 over, what's the bottom number? 13. And by the way, it's a negative. And we can make that into a mixed number, but I'm not going to do it right now. I just want you to get used to reducing these. So, do you want to do it on this paper, on your line paper? Yeah, you could. That's what I'm doing right now. So if I'm doing it, you can do it. All right. Okay, hold on a second. Settle down. Okay. All right, settle down.
Oh, there it goes. Sorry. Nishwar?
He went down for baseball. Thank you. Okay, so girls and boys, let's look at the next one. Now the next one's a little bit harder. Is there anything that matches at all? Okay, so yeah. So now you're going to look for a number that goes into something else on the bottom. So, and this time, rather than break it up because I don't have room, is I'm going to divide both of them by 11. So watch carefully. 11 divided by 11 is 1. 33 divided by 11 is what? Is 3. So put your 3.
What is for number 2? What did you have to reduce?
We could make it into a mixed number, but I'm not going to worry about that right now. All right. So I really need to write this. This is too big to write on here. But anyway, we'll do it. So let's look at the 6. 6 doesn't go into anything at the bottom, but could I take that 6? Okay, I hear too much talking. But I can make that 6. Okay, this time I am going to break it up. I'm going to make that 6. You have to write real tiny. I'm going to make it a 3 times a 2. Isn't that still 6? So does the 3 go into anything on the bottom?
Yeah, the 3.
Well, in fact, the 3 and the 3. We got a 3 right now, but we can cross it off because this 3 divides into that 3. So that's gone.
The 9 too.
But you only pick one of them. You could have chosen either of them. And 2 doesn't go into anything else. So that's going to be one of our other numbers. Then I'm going to take that 12. Okay, and we're going to break it into, how about 3 times 4? It could have been a lot of things, but if I broke it up into 2 times 6, there's no 2's and there's no 6's. So I'm going to break it up into 3 times 4. So does 3 go into any number on the bottom?
Yes, 15.
And pick something closer to the 3.
15.
How about the 21? Doesn't 3 go into 21? Yeah, so we're dividing the 3 and the 21 by 3. Now, and I need everybody to pay attention. We're starting from the basics, and if you don't get this, we can't go back. So on this one, 3 goes into 3 once, 3 goes into 21 7 times. Okay. Then I'm going to keep going. 4 doesn't go into anything, that 2 doesn't. That 10, is there a 5 in 10? Is there a 5 in 15?
Yes.
Which means I could divide both of those by 5. So I'm not going to break it up because I don't have room. So Cameron, make sure you're focused and your head is up and you're listening. So I'm going to divide the 10 and the 15 by 5. What's 10 divided by 5?
2.
2. So I'm going to put a 2 there. What's 15 divided by 5?
3.
So I'm going to put a 3 here. That's all I can do right now with those. Then 14. Oh, look at the bottom. Does 7 go into the 14?
Yes.
So we can divide the 7 and the 14 by 7. Okay, but let's do it each one at a time. 7 divided by 7 is 1. That slash is a 1. 14 divided by 7 is what? Is 2. And in fact, I think we've picked all of the numbers up. Let's see what we've got left. We've got a 4, a 2, a 2, and a 2. And on the bottom, we have a 9 and a 3. So let's look at our top number. 4 times 2 is 8. 8 times 2 is 16. 16 times 2 is 32. Or I could have gone backwards. 2 times 2 is 4, times 2 is 8. 8 times 4 is 32. Over, what's 3 times 9?
27.
Is 27. So our answer is 32 over 27. And you're right, we can make it into mixed number, but for right now, I just want you to reduce it and do that. We don't have time to do this. We're going to go to some smaller numbers now. Now let's go over here. Okay. Let's start with this number 8. Does anybody see what matches perfectly on top and bottom? Ma'am, you don't have to shout. Okay, ma'am.
Miss, I got a question. Is the top one going to be homework?
We'll see. So let's go ahead and do this. So, Gethsemane, what is it? So we can divide out the 3. What's the only thing that's left?
2 and 5, 2 and 5.
So that's your answer. 2 doesn't go into 5. Our answer is 2/5.
That's easy. That was so
Okay.
easy. I thought you multiplied the top and the bottom.
Well, no, ma'am, you don't multiply the top and the bottom. The top gets multiplied by the top. 2 times 1 is 2. 1 times 5 is 5. So let's go to this one. On number 9, let's take care of our sign first. What's a negative times a negative?
Negative.
What's a negative times a negative?
Positive.
Positive. We're done with the sign. So I'm just right now going to look at the top. Does 3 go into either 4 or 8 perfectly?
Yeah, no.
No. Does 5 go into either of them perfectly?
No.
So you just multiply straight across and we're done. 3 times 5 is what? 15. 4 times 8 is what?
22.
You're done. That's it.
You're done.
Okay. So, and by the way, once you've reduced out everything, you've reduced it completely. It can't be reduced again. It might be made into a mixed number, but it can't be reduced again. Then, who thinks they know the answer? Okay, hold on. Look carefully. Who thinks they know the sign and the final answer for number 10?
2 fourths and then 3.
No.
Mhm.
No. 8/25.
Or 1/2.
Somebody just said it over here.
8/25.
8 over 25. Because 4 doesn't go into 5, 2 doesn't go into 5. Negative times negative is a positive, and you just go straight across. 4 times 2 is 8 over 5 times 5. 5 times 5 is what? 25. That's your answer. Yes, ma'am.
Will 11 be 1 since 5 divided by 5?
Okay, hold on a second. We're not there yet. So what's the sign for number 11?
Or positive.
Negative times negative is?
A positive.
So we're done with our signs. Who thinks they know? And I think I heard one person say it. Who thinks they know the final answer?
1.
It's 1. That's how easy multiplication is. If you don't get it, it's a sad day. So again, 5 divided by 5 is 1. 2 divided by 2 is 1. These slashes are 1. 1 times 1 is 1. Over 1 times 1 is 1. It is 1. Then, who thinks they know the final answer for number 12?
Negative.
Negative?
Negative 12.
That's it.
It's in the short answer.
I think so. Hold on, we're getting there. So because there was nothing to reduce,
Number 13, do we...
just slow down, I'm not there yet. Okay. Okay, so before I say anything, I want to see who's got it together. Cancel anything out that you can. And maybe just your first set. I'm not going to tell you which one it is. And then see if you could do the rest of it mentally. Gethsemane, what?
I was on answer 13.
That's what I'm looking at, 13. April.
6 over 12?
There's no 6 on top.
Over 6.
Bottom.
No, 6 over 12.
You're not
12
thinking.
over 6.
And then what is 12 divided by 6?
Oh,
2. That's the answer.
So, yeah, me too.
So negative times negative is a positive. Can we cross out 5 divided by 5? So let's take care of that. Then, doesn't 6 go into 12?
2 times.
2 times. So what I did is I just said, oh, that's 12 divided by 6, which is 2. Or if you want to reduce, 6 goes into 6 once, 6 goes into 12, 2. And all we have is a 2 on top. 2 divided by 1 is just 2. That's it. On number 14, see if there's anything to cancel. If not, multiply straight across. Tell me your answer.
2 over 13.
What's the sign?
13. 15. Oh, yeah, 15. Sorry, 15. See? 15.
What sign is it? Negative 2 over 15. There was nothing to reduce, so get our sign and multiply straight across.
It's going to be the same for 17, right?
Well, I'm not there yet. 15. What's the answer to 15?
Negative 3 out of 10. 17 is all positive.
No, positive.
Wait, on 15 it's negative.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I'm not there yet. Okay. So what's the answer to number 16?
10. 10 over...
People, it's not 10.
No, 5 over 2.
5 over 2.
1/2.
Now on this one, because now we're going to start making it into mixed number. 5 divided by 2. How many 2's in 5?
1 over 2 and 1.
How many full packages of 2 can I make?
1. No,
2. Because, so 2, any leftovers are going to go in a size 2 box. 2 times 2 is 4.
Oh, yeah, I forgot.
And I've got only 1 left over. So 2.5. There's nothing to reduce on number 17. So tell me the first fraction that we're going to get. 18 over 5. But now every box is going to hold 5 pieces, 5 chocolates. I can make 1 box that's 5. 2 boxes is 10. 3 boxes is 15. 4 boxes is 20. How many can I make? 3. So put 3. Okay. And Cameron, I'm going to look at your paper, make sure everybody's writing this down. And then to see how many pieces I've used, I go 3 full boxes times 5. We've used 15 pieces. How many are left? There you go.
But why are we reducing now? We reduce the other one.
Because we're just trying to learn how to cancel here, but now we're doing the whole thing. But now on this one, girls, focus. I need you to knock the next test out of the park. All right, so this one I'm going to put under the 16. I'm going to make it a fraction by putting it on a pedestal of 1. Okay. All right, then, who knows a number that goes into both 16 and 12 and the biggest one that you can think of?
4.
4. Now, 6 doesn't go into 16 perfectly. This particular one, I'm going to do it by factoring out each number. So watch carefully. I'm going to make, and when first of all, let's get the sign. What's negative times positive? Negative. So we're done with the sign. So I'm going to take this, and since we said 4, I'm going to make this 4 times 4. Do you agree 4 times 4 is 16?
Yeah.
So do that on this one, because you can use that actually on all of them. So 4 times what will give me 12?
3.
3 times 4. And I don't want to use 2 times 6 because I didn't get a 2 or 6. So I want to use a 4. So 4 times 3. If I do this, then do you see a number that matches on top and bottom?
4.
The 4. So I can cross off one of the 4s on the top, one of them on the bottom. Nothing can reduce more. So what's my initial fraction? 4 over 3. And then you're right. I can make 1 package. Leftovers are going to go in a size 3. 1 times 3 is 3. And I have how many left over? 1.
1 and 1/3.
1 and 1/3. Then, okay. Now, sometimes, because you don't have to cancel out every time. In fact, if I put a 1 here, does that 7 cancel out with the 8?
Yeah.
No. So just multiply straight across. Straight across. What's 8 times 2? 16 over 1 times 7 is 7. By the way, what's our sign? Negative times positive? Negative. Okay. And then, how many boxes can I make? Yeah, because I've got 16 pieces. 7 and 7 is 14. I can't make 3 because that'd be 21. So I can make 2 whole boxes. Leftovers are going to go to size 7. 2 full boxes with 7 pieces each is 14. And how many do we have left over? Very good, and it's a negative. Okay. Oh, okay. Now, okay, hold on a second. I'm going to put the 5 on a pedestal. So it's 5 over 1. I want you to look at it carefully, do something if you could do something. I'm not going to say what. And then somebody raise their hand and tell me the final answer.
2.
What kind of 2?
-2.
Awesome, that's it.
Can you let me answer? Can you let me
Okay,
answer?
shh.
Can you be quiet?
Okay, stop.
Yes.
We're not going to make the comments. We don't have time for that. All right, so again, could we cross out 5 divided by 5?
Yes.
Yes. So all we have is -2 divided by 1, which is -2. In fact, look at the number 21. Who thinks they know the answer right away to number 21?
Can I go use the restroom?
-20.
Whoa.
-9 over 1.
9 over 1.
Or 9, just a second, we'll finish up. So because 20 divided by 20 cancels out, and she's going straight across. Technically, she's perfectly correct. It's -9 over 1. But what's -9 divided by 1?
9.
Is what kind of 9?
Negative.
-9. Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Okay, so do we have that one down? Again, we're all starting from the basic. We're all starting from the beginning. We all should make an A, unless you're just not paying attention. So,
I know it's the 1 for 22.
careful, because it's not going to come out so neat. Let me see here your answer.
24.
Well, you could have gone straight over. But on this one, I can reduce. But sometimes, if you see 24 over 4, doesn't 4 go into 24?
Yes.
So, that might be a good way to do it. Just go straight across. So, -24 over 4. What's our final answer?
That'll be
-6. Sometimes if it's very tiny numbers, you can just do it, go straight across. Do we want to, though, multiply all of these across? Do we want to multiply all those across? No. This is one where we need to learn how to reduce. But if the numbers are so tiny, then sometimes we can do that. So that came to -6. Now here's one. Okay. Here's one. Put a 1 under, put the 60 on a pedestal. Name your sign. What's negative times negative?
positive.
So it's going to be a positive. And then, who knows the biggest number that goes into 45 and 60? 20 doesn't go into 45. Perfect. You're close. Bigger than 5.
7.
Guys, 15. Listen, 15 and 15. You need to start memorizing this, 7th graders. 15 and 15 is 30, correct? Do you agree? Another 15 is 45. A fourth 15 makes it, again, this is going to be 10, Carrie, it's going to be 60. Start memorizing that 1, 2, 3 15s make 45, and 1, 2, 3, 4 15s make 60. So that's how I'm going to break this up. I'm going to make this a 15 times 4. And how are we going to break up the 45? 15 times what?
3.
15 times 3. And then do you see anything that's going to cancel off?
The 15.
The 15. 15 divided by 15. And so let's see what we have left. On the top, go straight across. 28, very good. Over 3. And then if that were a 27, what's 27 divided by 3? 9. So it's going to go 9 whole times. 9, very good. It's going to be a 1. 9 times 3, we've used 27 pieces. And we've got what? 1 left over. Are you kind of getting the hang of it?
Yeah, a little bit.
Don't tell me a little bit.
Okay, Mom.
Say more than a little bit.
More than a little bit, miss. Shut up.
Okay, so thank you. So put a 1 under this. Anais, weren't you already there at the beginning of class?
No,
I think so.
that was me.
Oh, okay, all right. So let's go ahead and finish up this one. Now, do you see a number? Okay, in fact, if I can't see the number, I'm going to look at the 8. I know 8 doesn't go into 36. What 2 numbers multiply to give you 8?
4.
In fact, let me do that. I'm going to put a 4 times a 2. I'm crossing out that 8, instead of putting 4. So which of these two numbers go into 36?
4.
Actually, they both
Or
do.
2.
But here's why you're going to pick the 4. If I'm going on a diet, which I'm going to go on a diet, is I want to lose the most weight possible. And so it's better to lose 4 pounds than 2. So and the more weight I lose, the slimmer my fraction will be. So I'm going to use the 4, and I'm going to break this up as 4 times 9. Okay. So now do you see a number on top and bottom?
Yeah. Or.
Okay. When we answer, do we have to say, yes?
Yes. Because I'm excited.
Oh, okay.
I love that.
Okay. I'm going to hurt their ears, who's ever listening to this. All right. So,
What was number 22?
okay, sir, I'll have to go back in a little bit. So on this one, we can cross off the 4 and the 4, and 5 and 9 does not go into 2. So go straight across. Tell me your original answer. 45 over 2. And by the way, if that were a 44, what's half of 44?
22.
So that's going to be 22, and whatever leftover I have, it's going to go in a 2 box. 20, you're right, it's going to be a 1. 22 times 2 is 44, so we've got 1 left over. Okay, then, no, don't bother anybody else. You're not going to go there. Okay. We just went straight across, and we got negative 24 over 4, which came to negative 6.
I thought, the way you taught it, you said that you break it out.
You can, but we said, you weren't here when we said it. If the numbers are so tiny, and you can see 24 is divisible by 4, you can go ahead and do it. As opposed to this, I don't want to multiply all those together, but this one is so easy that we just went ahead and did it. So, I'm going to check to see if 14 goes into 70. Does anybody want to guess how many times it would go if it did? 5, because 5 times 4 ends with a 0. So 14 times 5, I'm going to double check it, and that's perfect. So I'm going to break this 70 up into 5 times 14. Then what can you cross off? Do you like the breaking up method?
Yes.
Okay, I do too. Where you can just cross this off and cross that off. And by negative times negative is a positive. And then so we cross off our 14s. What's the only thing we've got left? What's the only thing we've got left?
5 and 36.
Or 36
36 over 5.
over 5. Well, 5 times 1 is 5, so we don't need the 1. And then if that were 35, 35 divided by 5 is what? 7. Okay. Any leftovers on a 5? 7 times 5. We've used 35 pieces to fill up those 7 boxes. What's left over?
6.
What do you mean 6? 36 divided by the 35. I'm sorry, minus the 35 that I've used. What's left, people? 1. 7 times 5 is 35. I've used 35 pieces to fill the 7 boxes. I had 36. There's only 1 left. Then, let's see how much.
What was the answer?
It's right here. Okay. Then.
Oh my God.
All right. So now let's look at this. This one's this one's not going to be so bad. So put it over 1. Who knows 2 numbers that make 40?
5 and 8.
5 and 8. Does 8 go into 56? Yes. So in fact, I could break it up, or we could divide by 8. Which one do you want to do? Break it up or divide by 8 on both?
Break it up.
So let's break it up. Let's make this one 8 times 7, and make this one 8 times 5. So I did it by breaking it up. So what goes in, what can we cross off then?
8 and 7. Or 8 and 8.
8 and 8. And by the way, 15 doesn't go into 7. If that were 3 times 5, it doesn't go. So we've got to go straight across. 15 times 5 is 75. Over 7 times 1 is 7. By the way, if this were a 70, what's 70 divided by 7?
10.
It's going to go 10 times. 10 times 7 is 70. I've used 70 pieces to fill my 10 boxes. 75 minus 70 is what?
1. Wait, what?
75 minus 70
Why 5?
is 5. And by the way, negative times negative is a positive, so I don't need to do it. Let's finish this last one and then we will. Okay. All right, then, hold on, let's just finish this one. Okay, who knows two numbers that if I broke up 42?
6 and 7?
Doesn't 6 go into 12?
Yeah.
So I don't want to make a 4 times 3 for 12 because I know I won't be able to cancel anything off. So I want to make it 6 times 7, and I'll make that 12 as 6 times 2. And then what can you cancel off on top and bottom? Does everybody see it? Cross off a 6 and a 6. And then, who knows, there's nothing else that will reduce. Who knows our original fraction?
45 over 2?
How about 35 over 2?
Oh, I thought that was an 8.
Okay. All right. And then if this were a 34, well, I'm telling you, half of 34 is 17. 17 times 2 is, I've used 34 pieces to fill up those 17 boxes. How many are left? Is 1. All righty. So, 11, didn't we do 11? Yeah, on 11, 5 and 5 cross off, 2 and 2. So these are 1s. 1 times 1 is 1. 17 and a half. All right, so we don't have a lot of time, so I'm going to make your assignment a little bit easier than the other class.
Do you want us to do it do you want us to do 4, 5, and 6?
No, you don't have to unless you want to. Is what I'm going to have you do. I'm going to pick some out that are special here. I'm going to have you do number 1. It's going to be really easy. 2. Oh, these are 2 each. 3 and 4. That's it. 1, 2, 3, and 4. You find your answer at the bottom, and when you find your correct answer, you put that word where the correct answer is. So see if you can work together to get those 4. And Anais, yes, you can go. Whoa, I have that too low. And could you turn on the light, Missy? Thank you.
Question.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Okay, girls and boys, you only have 4 problems. Yes.
I got a question. So I would, since I cannot do that, I would just do cross it, right?
Can't you reduce 2 and 4?
Yeah.
So practice your reducing. Okay, sir, have a seat.